Good morning, good morning, good morning. So, today I want to talk about why people get stuck quantum leap, mid leap, like why they get caught there, why they get stuck there, why they never actually end up kind of making the leap, right? So, if you're somebody who doubts yourself, you're somebody who hesitates, this is for you. And I want to really talk about like what are the things that keep people stuck. So, first things first, where I get too ahead of myself here. My name is Crystal Hoban. I'm an identity coach, and I help people build the self trust and the confidence that they need to stop abandoning themselves and fully step into their next level. So, let's get into it a little bit. So, when it comes to quantum leaping, right, I'm sure you hear about it all the time online and all sorts of different spaces. And I want to just acknowledge that it happens in a lot of different ways for people. So, quantum leaping can happen in a way where you maybe take on a new identity and you start a new business. Or it could happen in the way that you are not accepting relationships that maybe are not equal give and take anymore. And you've decided that you want more secure and aligned relationships, right? That's also a way to quantum leap. Quantum leaping is any type of identity shift or change that you are making. So you're choosing to behave a different way, which is going to give you a different outcome, right? That's what quantum leaping is kind of in a nutshell. And there are certain things that keep us kind of stuck in our midway through quantum leaping. And one of the things that I see a lot with clients is that they are waiting for themselves to be ready to do the thing. So, may it be that they're waiting to get ready to set the boundary, or they're waiting to get ready to make the content, or they're waiting to get ready to like put themselves out there, right? There's like this kind of way that I feel like a lot of, and I've been guilty of this as well, but a lot of like sensitive, energetic people, and people pleasers in general, we and perfectionists, let's be real, they fall in this equation too. We definitely want to feel like everything is all planned out and ready before we take the leap. We want to know that it's going to work before we do it. And I think that that's kind of what I see the most is that there's this like need to know before stepping into the unknown. And the reality is that you're never going to be ready to do that thing, right? And this is where self trust is so important and confidence, because if you have the self trust to know that if you take that leap, it will always be, and no matter what it will be, right? Then it will be. But if you don't have that self trust and confidence, then you're going to waver within this space. And I see this a lot, where people just really are not able to completely all go in because they haven't been able to see that external validation, or they haven't been able to see the external way that it's showing up, or those kinds of things. And the other piece of this too is you have to be completely willing to let go of your old reality and your old identity to let this new one in, right? Like if you don't make the space, then where is this supposed to land? That's something to really be aware of. And so I just challenge you to recognize that you're never going to be ready to do something. You get ready as you go. You get ready as you do. You get ready as you practice. And that's just par for the course. And part of getting ready is letting go of what you don't want anymore to make room for what you do want. And the only way for you to make room is to release, right? And so a lot of what it comes down to when it comes to quantum leaping is being able to just trust, really trust yourself, trust the vision that you have because you have it for a reason. It wouldn't come to you if you didn't have it for a reason. And really just be able to kind of step into the unknown. And this is where a lot of people really struggle because when you first make the leap, many things around you have not changed yet. Things have not shifted yet, right? The only thing that feels different usually is you and the way that you're moving, but your external has not reflected that back to you yet. And this is where a lot of people give up and fall out because you have to be able to stand really strong in your confidence and self trust that you got this no matter what. And that's exactly what I help people do. And I help people kind of get through that fear and that self doubt and those worries about things. So the other part of where people get caught is that, they start to make action and do the thing, right? They start to align to this new identity that they want for themselves. And then they stop. So they'll do it for a while, right? And then they'll start getting caught in their head and they'll start doubting and they'll start being really worried about things and then they'll stop. So this is where it's really important to kind of like go all in. And the universal law, which I love and I think is true, is that if you be it, it will come, right? You will attract it in. Like, this is the idea of manifestation, by the way. It's the idea that if you align to a certain outcome, then it has to be, it has to meet you and match you. The question for you is, how long are you willing to play that role? How long are you willing to stand in that space? That's what it comes down to, right? Just like an actor or actress plays a certain role for a period of time, right? Like, how long are you willing to play that role to bring that in for you, right? And I think that this is where people start getting caught in their heads about timing and how long things take. And well, it took this person this long and this person this long, right? And one of the things that I've had to realize and what I've come to realize in my own experience of this is that, you know, there are certain things that you learn as you go. So, like, if you are trying to be perfect and have everything together and figured out before you take the leap, like, you're never going to get there because there's so much that needs to go into that learning process for you to be able to come out the other side. So, for example, for me personally, I've been doing a lot more lives, right? And I'm becoming more visible in certain ways. And I've had to work through my own stuff around that. And so what I've noticed though is that I was in the beginning trying to get all of my messaging right, trying to get all my marketing right, trying to like come up with how that was supposed to look and what that was supposed to be said and like trying to get it like perfect and scripted and all of these different things. And to be honest with you, it just completely overwhelmed my system and it probably prolonged my quantum leap because I was overwhelming myself when the reality was, and I had this like realization, I want to say probably last night, to be honest with you, that I really just needed to show up and be visible first. I just need to just show up and get comfortable with being visible and get my nervous system kind of wrapped around that and regulated to that before I could really start to understand my messaging piece. That piece needed to happen first. What I was trying to do was I was trying to do everything all at once, and I was completely overwhelming myself and causing extreme fatigue in my body and system. And my nervous system was like, danger, danger, like, and going off. Okay. And I think that this is something that, especially if you're an overthinker or you're very intelligent, we often try to figure everything out before we take the step, before we take the leap, right? We try to get ready. And the reality is a lot of the time we're overwhelming our system doing that. So what I've learned is that, you true do it, you follow through, you just show up and you learn along the way what it is that you need to shift and change to keep it going. You learn along the way what it is that you need to do to be better, right? And so that's kind of been what I've realized in my own process around this. And so manifestation is you're aligning with the action that you need to be able to be that person or that identity that you want to become. And so, hello. And so when it comes down to it, it's really about you being able to align to what it is that you want. So my question that I always ask myself and always think about is like, if you could fully trust yourself, what would it be that you would be doing right now? Would you be worrying? Would you be doubting? Right? Or would you just be enjoying your life and moving moment by moment? Because that's what's going to call something in a lot faster for you. So, the other thing that I have here about what keeps people stuck in the quantum leap is also like the fear. They let fear and worry and doubt control them. Instead of learning that that's just a part of growth, that's just a part of moving forward, right? Is to have fear and have worry. And that it's not about controlling it. It's not about compartmentalizing it. It's not about trying to minimize it. It's actually about trying to listen to it, hear it, understand what it's trying to tell you, and then actually choose to focus on something else. So a lot of the things that I talk to clients about is like, how do you acknowledge it for what it is, see it for what it is, but take that baby step forward anyways, right? What does that look like? And what would a baby step forward for you be? I mean, I think we all kind of know our own understanding of what that looks like for ourselves. And it's about you really being certain on that and stern on that. So these are the things that I've kind of noticed where people get stuck mid quantum leap and then they don't make the leap. A lot of the time people let fear and they let anxiety and they let, the doubt kind of get in the way. Because a lot of the times people are looking for that external rather than recognizing that, when you're making a quantum leap, it comes down to you being absolutely delusional. I'm sure you've heard people say this, absolutely delusional. And just trusting that it's all going to work out no matter what. Even if I'm not seeing it, even if it hasn't shown me that yet, it's all going to work out and play out exactly as it needs to, exactly as it's meant to. And so this is where I build the self-trust and confidence, and I help with the accountability to help people to be able to create and make that jump. May it be that you're trying to bring in secure attached relationships, or that you're trying to be happy in your life and figure out who you truly are and live in your truth. That's exactly what I do. So if you feel like you want to go deeper, I do have sessions. You can go to crystalclearmystic.com and you can send in an application. And if we're aligned, then we can work together and kind of do this deeper dive into understanding how to build that for yourself so that you can kind of live your truth and learn to really be happy in your life. But I do want to just check in and see if there's any questions. Anybody? Okay. Well, I hope you guys have a really great day. And you know where to find me at crystalclearmystic.com. I love you so much. Take care.